I think you got the number, Gloria. Ha-da-ba-ba-da-ba-bum, Gloria. Glory, Gloria. Oh, awesome. Hello, everybody. Welcome to another Monday mini medicine card reading. Woohoo! Oh, God, I'm tired. And I thank you for your patience as I didn't do the video last week because I was out of town. Oh my gosh, we got people already. Yay! So Shauna says yes. Hi Shauna, it's good to see you. And Tammy and Devlin and Roulette. Thank you guys for joining. Glory, Gloria, and Joe, Valerie. All right. So the way this works for anyone that's coming on, if you would like a one-card reading, the first 6 people to say yes, get a one-card reading. And so far we've only got 2 yeses. Oh, thank you, Shauna. That means a lot to me. All right, so we've only got 2 yeses so far. And once we hit our threshold of 6, if you don't get a personal reading, then go ahead and choose a number between 1 and 6, and your reading will kind of get piggybacked onto whoever else's card that is. So I am Patrick, your friendly neighborhood shaman. I realize I didn't introduce myself yet for anybody who doesn't know me, hasn't been here before. And what we are going to do, I am going to light a candle, which is freaking out my cat. And I'm going to light some, actually I got some mugwort. And then I know I have over 6 people watching, but I've only got 2 yeses. Oh, thanks, Joe. I missed you guys too. Am I glitching? I don't want to be glitching. All right, Tammy is a yes. If I'm glitching, I apologize. And if you said yes, oh my God! So we're having trouble to, I just heard today that Mercury is going retrograde shortly, and that we're in the shadow. So that might be what's going on, because nothing else has changed. I've got full power. My phone is all charged up. And I don't know sign language. Hey, Emerald, how are you? So we still only have 3 people that have said yes. Yay, now you can hear me. Okay, it's been a really weird day. It's like we woke up this morning to maintenance ringing our doorbell. Devlin, no, I can't. I seem to not be able to see. I'm not getting everybody's comments. I see people that have come in, but I'm not seeing comments. So all I've got is Tammy, Shauna, and Valerie for comments. Amaral says yes. Devlin, since you said that, I'm going to assume you are a yes. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And so we've got one more available. It has been a weird day already. So hi Roulette. Yeah, I saw that you guys were here, but I didn't see you say yes. So I've got Shauna, Valerie, Tammy, Amaral, and Devlin so far. So we have one spot left for a yes. If someone else, and I apologize, it might be my phone, it might be the internet. I don't think I'm getting all of the comments. Cheryl, okay, no, okay, so that, I've got Devlin, I've got Cheryl, and that's the 6th, so everyone else, I'm so sorry. Not that I have control over it, but I don't think I'm getting all the comments. So I have Shauna, Valerie, Tammy, Amaral, Devlin, and Cheryl. And Roulette, I'm so sorry. I see now that you're saying, I just got your yes, and you were like just a little bit too late. Oh, Devlin says that Roulette or Joe can have hers. That's so sweet of you, Devlin. So, Joe and Roulette, you guys can fight it out of who wants Devlin's. And remember that I do pull a card at the very end for everybody, whether you've got a personal one or not. And like I said, if you choose a number between 1 and 6, I promise you that even though those cards are aimed at a particular person, just by your setting it the intention that that's the card that you want your guidance from, or more than one, you can choose more than one card. Know that whatever I say is going to be your guidance as well. I'm not trying, we're not going to shortchange anybody. Because I used to do it where I would pull like 3 cards and everyone would choose a number, and then they would get whatever they got from what I said. So this is kind of a hybrid of both of those ways of doing it. So, and I have to try to be less verbose tonight because my tax guy is supposed to call me at 9 or like after 9. So I want to make sure that we're complete with this before I talk to my tax guy, because I waited until the very last moment. So anyway, so here we go. And the only price I ask for these videos is if you would please share these videos. You can share them. You can tag someone in the comments. And if you like what you hear here, you can consider signing up for a full reading just for you and you alone. All right, so Shauna, you are first. All right, Shauna, you got Crow. And Crow is, well, it's interesting because it's like, I never even think about the book that, there's a book that comes along with the cards. And I haven't read that book in literally years. And it's like things keep coming up with these cards. The animals themselves keep showing me different things. And one of the things that comes up with Crow is this picture of Crow by this puddle looking at his reflection. And so it's kind of like, Shauna, what I take from this is that you've been doing a lot of self-reflection, looking into the shadow. You know, it's like Crow is black and his shadow is black. And so there's a lot of confusion. If Crow were reversed, it'd be kind of like, well, which one is the real one, right? But this is to validate to you how much growth and discernment you have made. That, I mean, there might still be, you know, gradations and stuff like that, but for the most part, this is to show that you really are starting to see what's really you and what's just your shadow, right? What's just a reflection. And a lot of that comes when we start to realize that the outside world is a reflection of our inner world. And so instead of trying to change our outside world to make us feel better, we work on us first to make ourselves feel better, and then the outside world reflects that change. And so I see this as a really good omen, a really good validation that you have been doing your work. And this is coming along kind of to remind you to give yourself credit for how far you've come. Celebrate the victories. You know, it's like we're always reaching for that thing, and no matter how far we've come, there's always that next thing, that next challenge, that next hill to get over or whatever. And we never stop and breathe and allow ourselves the satisfaction of seeing how far we have come, right? And so give yourself the chance, give yourself the credit you deserve. A lot of like crow medicine I see reflected in cormorant. If you know what a cormorant is, they're these beautiful black birds. They're kind of almost like loons, and they are one of the deepest diving birds. They're black, and they can dive very, very deep because their bones are heavier than most birds, and they don't have the oil on their feathers. And this allows them to dive really deep to get their most nutritious, yummy snacks. And then they come up to the surface, and when they come up to the surface and eat the fish that they caught, they actually stand in the sun with their wings spread because they don't have the oils on their wings, and they hold their wings open to allow themselves to dry and to appreciate to appreciate and be grateful for that beautiful meal they just had, the feast of fish that they just got. And so they're not, if they were to dive back down, eventually they'd get waterlogged and they wouldn't be able to fly or swim. And so give yourself a pat on the back. Focus on the victories rather than the challenges, okay? I keep hearing, I don't remember which Marvel Avengers movie it was, but they were having the party after, like, they had gotten Loki's staff, and they were going to have this celebration, this party, and Thor was like, yes, victories require rebels. You must revel. Revelry is, necessary. So remember that. Revelry is necessary. Give yourself the pat on the back. It's okay to rest on your laurels. It's okay to appreciate your accomplishments and how far you've come. That's not an ego thing. It's not a selfish thing. It's how we track how far we've, it's like, because we do, if we don't know, if we can't see the progress we're making, then your life is just a hamster wheel going round and round without actually making any ground, right? And that way you're going to wear yourself out. So the universe is giving you a thumbs up, saying you have come so far. We see it, and we want you to see it. Okay? So that was card number 1 for Shauna. I hope that makes sense, Shauna. And I'm going to try to be a little more brief tonight, like I said, because I need to try to be done by 9 o'clock. So I apologize if tonight's readings aren't as involved and lengthy as they normally are. So Valerie, you are next. Oh, and Emerald, now that you're here, I wanted to say, I know that, so Emerald has, oh good, I'm glad that makes sense. Awesome, Shauna. Emerald does the breath work class thing on Monday nights at 7 to 8, I believe, so before this, and I used to do this video at 7, and I switched it to 8 because I had a scheduling thing, and my scheduling conflict no longer exists, but I've decided to keep it at 8 o'clock Pacific time, because I know there's quite a few people on here that like to come to this video after Emerald's class, and so I don't want there to be a conflict. I don't want people to have to choose. It's like, it's a both and situation. So I just want to let everybody know that for the foreseeable future, we're going to keep it to 8 o'clock. So I hope that works for everybody. Okay, so Valerie. There's a girl I know who makes me feel so good, and I know to think about her. Da 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 da. They call her Valerie. Oh, it's every 2 weeks. Okay. So if anyone's interested in Emerald's breathwork class, it's every second, so it's every other Monday night at 7 o'clock, I think. So you can check that out. I know Valerie, my fiance, has been going, and it's been doing wonders for her. So Valerie, whose card is next, card number 2, if you choose card number 2. All right, Valerie, you got Ant. Again. So Ant is, again, it's kind of like similar to the last one. I'm getting this similarity that Ant is about patience, right? Ant doesn't have to take the whole world on his shoulders because there are millions of other ants in the anthill doing work. And so Ant only has to worry about that one tiny piece of leaf. That's all he's responsible for, because there's millions of other ants with tiny pieces of leaf. And by each one just carrying what they're responsible for, the entire anthill gets fed. And so it's kind of like patience, because, you know, Rome wasn't built in a day. And when Ant comes along, it tends to mean that there is a long-term project going on. You might not even be aware of the end game, of the end vision of it. And so it's just doing step by step by step with that trust and that surrender to know that Every step you take is toward a greater accomplishment, that everything you do is cumulative and it's building up to something bigger than you can even imagine right now. And what's interesting is, so last week, when I wasn't here doing this video, I was out in the woods at my friend's cabin doing ceremony and stuff, kind of taking a break from tech. And whenever I do these little, 3 or 4 day retreats on my own, I'm always like, bring my cards and I bring my journals and I bring my drums and everything, because I'm going to do all this work and I'm going to dig deep and I'm going to figure all this stuff out, right? And I get there and I do a couple of ceremonies, and my guides are like, you came here to rest. They're like, you need to rest. And basically what they said was, there's no hurry. There's no hurry. You're exactly where you need to be, doing exactly what you need to do. You cannot step off of your spiritual path. Every step has purpose. Every step is exactly as big as it needs to be or as small as it needs to be. Because one of the things that's been happening for me that has been really hitting home for me lately is the fact that, we keep thinking, oh, we got to get back to spirit. Oh, I'm disconnected. I need to reconnect to spirit. I need to do all these rituals or ceremonies or say the right words and the right prayers, etc., to reconnect to spirit. And the thing is, you're always connected to spirit. The same source of inspiration, the same source of divine wisdom that was available to our ancestors, who were closer to nature, who created all these beautiful traditions and ceremonies, etc., that same source is available to you right this moment. You cannot be separated from it. Our brains can make us think we're separated, but you are always connected to that infinite source of wisdom, of relation. All our relations, the universe is all our relations. Every living being, every being in the universe, we are related to. It's like quantum entanglement. Once two things are connected, even if they go in different directions, they are always connected, right? And guess what? Before the Big Bang, everything was connected. Everything was in the same singularity, whatever you want to call it, the size of a pea. And then it expanded into all these galaxies and planets and beings and all that kind of stuff. And so you are connected to every single thing in the universe. That same source is available to you right now. And so, you don't want to go to the extreme of saying, oh, okay, I'm always connected, so I can just keep putting it off. I can always do it later. We can procrastinate our enlightenment or, awakening, whatever you want to call it, which actually is fine. There's nothing wrong with that. There's no judgment. If that's the way you want to live, then that's the way you live, because that is a valid way of being. But if you're serious about your spiritual growth, if you're serious about becoming who you came here to be, it's realizing that it's more of a remembering of that initial connection, right? And the interesting thing to me is I've been doing work recently, I'm usually talking about spirit and connecting to spirit and aligning with spirit, and always like it's up there somewhere. But lately, my journeys and my meditations have been more inward than outward. And it's like, and that's where I have connected to divine source, to, you know, the original goddess, the creator, whatever you want to call her, it, him. And so the point being, you are divine source. That's why we call it enlightenment. That's why we call it awakening, because that truth is always there. We forget it. We're caught in this dream where all these outside things are real. And again, just like with Crow, it's like the point is to go inward and to find your relationship with Creator, with Source. And once you have that, it fills you up, and then there is no holding you back. It's like no limits of what you can do. You are source energy. So it's okay to take your time. It's okay to rest. My guides wouldn't let me do ceremony. I was going to go sit in the woods I've got this cedar tree. That's my friend out there. He's got this beautiful perfect concave area of its trunk that's perfect to sit along. And I do my pipe ceremony. And I was going to just sit there for hours and just sit there for like the entire day. And my guides wouldn't let me. They're like, you're doing enough. You're doing the work. You need to rest. You need to integrate what you're already doing. And so I'd go back to the cabin and I would nap or read and do that kind of thing. So whatever you're doing is perfect. Whatever you're doing, whatever is coming up is perfect. Whatever is in front of you is the path, okay? I hope that makes sense. So it's like there is no hurry. You're already whole. And that's where the adventure comes in, because you know you're already whole, but we have these thoughts and beliefs handed down to us that say we're not. And so the adventure is in learning to remember that, to override that, programming that we've got stuck in our brain, coming back into the heart that knows oneness, right? That there is no separation. So I hope that makes sense for Valerie and anyone else that chose card number 2. So we are going to go to card number 3, which is Tammy, my friend. And Tammy, I still haven't gotten our class Facebook page up, just to let you know. I apologize. I'm just not the best tech person, and I'm hitting some challenges. So, but I will get that going as soon as I possibly can. All right. Okay, so Tammy, card number 3, got deer, but deer reversed. So, okay, so apparently there's a theme tonight. The question that keeps coming in my mind is, where are you pushing? It's time to stop trying to push through and to back off. Deer is about gentleness. Deer is about surrender. Deer is about recognizing that oneness that I was just talking about. And so when you come into conflict with something, or you get so desperate for something to happen, or for some item or something to work out, you actually create resistance to that actually working out. And so it's kind of about where Where do you need more compassion for yourself? Like I said with Ant, you're already whole. There is absolutely nothing you need for you to acquire your godhood, your divinity, your sovereignty. That's already a part of you. And so by letting go, when there's no resistance, what you need comes to you. It flows to you without challenge because it's already a part of you. It can't not find you. Whatever you are seeking is also seeking you. And when we can let go of that resistance and let things happen, that's when life goes a little bit smoother. Not necessarily easier, because we still have to take a look at what we're feeling and what's happening. But this might be like old issues coming up, even like childhood things, that like old thoughts, old doubts, old criticisms, feeling like you're not enough, inadequacies, different things like that. And what Dear is asking you to do is to look at yourself, and rather than judging yourself or trying to run away or fight whatever feeling is coming, is to look yourself in the eye and say, what did someone do to make you so unhappy? How did somebody hurt you in the past? Because those issues and those feelings, they aren't outside of you, they're inside. And it's from your reaction to some trauma in the past. It's a younger part of you crying out for love. And so when we tend to like, oh crap, I already dealt with that, and we try to run away from it or squish it or whatever, we're just re-traumatizing that younger part of us. So when those feelings come up, when those issues come up, as best you can, it's like sitting with those feelings, actually telling yourself, you are allowed to feel this in my body. Again, taking the resistance out of it. You are allowed to feel this way. And allowing those feelings to come up, allowing yourself to feel, to cry the tears, to, scream if you have to, whatever it is to help release those feelings. But that is how you heal your inner child, your younger self, by looking at yourself with those eyes of wonder, those eyes that don't see wrong, that don't judge. It's like Zen mind, beginner's mind. You see everything as if it was newly created in this moment. There's no baggage. And so by taking yourself whole, and those things come up, and just like the story, I won't go into the full story because I don't have time, of Deer with the troll at the base of Great Spirits Mountain, when the troll jumped out and threatened Deer, and Deer just looked at him rather than running or fighting, and be like, why are you so angry? What did someone do to hurt you? And the troll, who thrived on resistance and conflict, found none of that in Deer, and so he disappeared. He was released from that because someone had the eyes of the child to see who was actually underneath those feelings. So don't judge yourself. Don't criticize. I'm like telling you what you should do. It's like, no, I don't. But it's like, as best you can. When you feel that inner critic, when you feel that judgment coming up for yourself, or even for someone else, because when you're feeling judgmental about someone else, where is that feeling? That's in here too, right? And so you have to examine where that feeling is coming from, because it's more about who you are rather than what someone else is doing. That trigger is inside of you, and if you want to heal it, It's your responsibility to look at it, to hold that child who felt that way somewhere in your past, to hold them and say, it's okay. I've got you. We're going to get through this. You can feel this way. You're safe to feel this way. And that's what heals it. That's what helps to heal those feelings, heals your inner child, and allows you to become more whole. Okay, you just answered, you just replied, and it's a really long message, so it sounds like it. Yes, Kuan Yin. Kuan Yin is the epitome, is the embodiment of deer medicine, that compassion, that unlimited, unconditional compassion and love for whoever is in front of her, right? So, yeah, you're doing it. You're awesome. All right, so Amaral, you are next. I just might do it. We just might end by 9 o'clock. So card number 4, for anyone who chose that number, is for Amaral. Amaral, I should talk to you sometime, because I know you do a lot with the Egyptian gods, and I have had, the Egyptian gods have been showing up for me a lot lately, like Osiris and Thoth and Anubis. It's been kind of crazy, but good. I'm like, why are you talking to me? What could I possibly do for you? But anyway. All right. Card number 4. Oh, nope. Not yet. One more. There we go. Card number 4 for Amaral. Amaral, you got Moose. One of the house favorites. This is one of my favorite cards. So it hasn't come up lately, which is really interesting because it used to come up all the time. But what Moose medicine is about is what I call majestic dorkiness. Moose is one of the most majestic animals on the planet. In fact, a lot of times when I'm connecting to Moose, it feels very similar to like lion medicine. It's like this total regalness and dignity and royalty. And at the same time, Moose is one of the dorkiest looking creatures on the earth, right? And so it's really about being wholly and unapologetically yourself. Realizing that those things that make you stick out from the crowd are exactly the gifts that you brought to this world, that this world sorely needs. Okay? Again, it's like surrendering into who you are. Without pretense, without trying to hide anything, because, most of us, like I can pretty much guarantee everyone that's watching this has gone through times of being teased or bullied because they're different, because they stick out, and then we tend to, whatever it is that we get teased about or that people laugh at or whatever, we tend to try to hide it, right? And it's almost like, trying to tie your hand behind your back or something, right? And so you can't express yourself if you're not expressing yourself in wholeness. And so by accepting your wholeness, especially those parts that make you unique, that's how you can stand in your dignity, in your integrity, be the majesty of your own domain, right? And so it's like no compromising, no, okay, well, I don't want to do this because it might hurt this person's feelings, or I don't know how someone else is going to take this. It's like unapologetically being yourself, and moose is the largest of the deer family, right? So moose also embodies everything I just said with deer. There's that gentleness, even though they're massive, and they look dorky, but they're as nimble as any other deer. They can leap, they can run. They are another deer. And so that whole compassion, just the fact that they can bulldoze anything that they don't agree with or don't want, is a bit part of moose medicine. But the thing is, a lot of times, with like the animals, it's like the bigger they are, the more gentle they are. And I'm not saying, like, you don't want to, if you see a moose in the wild, don't go try to pet its nose, because you might get gored or thrown, But there is a gentility to them as well, and when left to their own devices, they're very gentle and calm. And where am I going with all of this? So again, be compassionate with yourself. Even if no one else can see it, like with deer, the eyes of the divine, the eyes of the child, that's the namaste thing. The divine in me sees the divine in you. And you can't see the divine in someone else unless you first see it in yourself, right? And so it's having those eyes, that compassion to realize everything you've done. You have never done anything wrong, and there is nothing wrong with you. Anything you have ever done, anything that has ever happened, can be used either against yourself, to keep yourself down, to keep yourself thinking that you're less than, or it can become the solid ground to stand on as experience, as wisdom, to stand up and become who you actually are. And the other thing I love about moose is the antenna. It's like wide open crown chakra, the part that connects us to spirit, wide open, right? And that's, our power, our divinity, our nobility, and regalness comes from who we are inside, who we are as spirit coming through us and expressing in this world. So if we're trying to hold ourselves back because of what we look like, because of things we like, because of, what we do or whatever, you're giving your power away, number one, to other people, to what other people might think, when you can never really know what other people think. You're not doing it because of what other people think. You're doing it because of what you think other people are thinking, right? And so, in other words, be your glorious self. Just be who you are. Ta-da! And let everyone else decide how they are going to take it. Because your only responsibility is the presentation. How you are taken is not your business. What other people think of you is not any of your business. You can't be responsible for other people's fears or doubts. So be yourself. Claim that power, claim that dominion, that sovereignty that is yours, that is your birthright, right? So I hope that helps. I hope that's, the fact that he's upright kind of goes to show how much you have already done to step into your power. To claim who you are, and it's not about royalty as in like having servants or having things done for you. It's royalty realizing their responsibility in how they see the world around them, of how they treat others rather than being, served hand and foot, right? So it's about claiming that personal accountability, personal responsibility, but with the eyes of the child that doesn't mean oh, I did that wrong, or I shouldn't have done that, and using that as an excuse, like, oh, well, I didn't know any better, when you may have, you chose to do something that you knew better than, right? Because that can get kind of to be a little bit of a mind game with yourself, and you can kind of hide in, your so-called ignorance. But it's like everything that happens, it's like, okay, that was an experience. I'm going to chalk that up to experience, and I'm going to move forward in love, because nothing can take away from who I actually am as a divine child of the source energy of Creator, that can never be changed. Okay? Oofda. Wow. All right, card number 5. Devlin, you were number 5, but you said that Roulette or Joe could have it, and I don't know if I'm getting all my comments yet or not, but I don't know if anyone has made any decisions. Tell you what, I'm going to do a card, and it's going to cover all 3 of you. Because life is a both and, not an either or. So Devlin, Roulette, and Joe, card number 5 is for you. Oh, okay. All right, you guys. So for all 3 of you, Weasel is your animal guide for this week. Okay, so this fits with our theme really well. Again, it's Weasel medicine is about knowing things you're not supposed to know. In other words, like intuitiveness, seeing the bigger picture, seeing through things. Like Weasel has non-stop energy. Weasel's metabolism is so high that they are constantly moving. And so they know everything that's happening in their territory. Everything. And they're in and out. They're so fast that they might be in and out before you even know they're there. So that's where that like knowing something you're not supposed to know kind of thing goes, because it's like you hear things or you put things together, or you kind of know what's there without someone telling you. And so it's noticing those things, number one, claiming that intuition. You know, like when you think of someone and then they call on the phone, not, oh my God, that's so weird. You know, it's like, oh my God, that actually happened. And like starting to acknowledge all those synchronicities and intuitive hits that you get. And the way it's kind of, like I said, it kind of fits with the other cards tonight is that you don't have, how do I put it? I can see it in my head. I can see what I'm trying to say, but I don't know how to put it into words. But because you know everything that's going on, you can be content with where you are in the middle of it. You're the middle of it. And if you need to do something over there because you know, it's like you can go do that. It's like you're always in the right place at the right time. And because you can trust your intuition, because you trust that everything you need to know, you will know when you need to know it. So you get an intuitive hit, synchronicity happens, you follow that synchronicity, you follow that intuitive hit. And so it's like the Tao is saying about by doing nothing, nothing is left undone. It's like you can know everything that's going on, but there's not a lot of difference between knowing everything that's going on and knowing nothing, right? Because it's like with quantum physics, when every possible reality exists, every possible choice is made in some dimension, in some world. It's like vinyl records or CDs, right? All the songs are there on that disc. Everything that ever will be, everything that ever was is on that disc. And depending where you put the needle down, you get to play whatever song you want, and you can jump around, right? But it's all there. So you kind of know everything that's there, but you don't have to worry about keeping track of everything's there, because whatever you want, you put the needle down in that spot, and that's what you experience. Does that make sense? And so you can spend your time. It's like a more efficient usage of your time, because you know that if there's something you need to know or something you need to pay attention to, you're going to get that hit, or there's going to be a synchronicity, someone's going to mention it, or you might hear it on the internet or TV or something, be like, oh, that's right, I need to do that, I need to call that person, or whatever it is. And so it's kind of a way of allowing you to stand down. You don't have to have everything figured out, because you are always in the right place at the right time. And you know that all possibilities and potentials are open to you at any point. So there's no getting it wrong. So I hope that makes sense to you guys. I hope that rings true. But all in all, it's a good sign. It's like, and like, it doesn't mean you're you're at your pinnacle of, growth and stuff, but it's kind of a sign from the universe giving you that thumbs up to say you're doing great. You're getting it. You're making progress. Like they say in AA, it's progress, not perfection, right? You are making progress, and it's important to acknowledge that progress. All right, Cheryl, I think you were like the first one on here, and unfortunately, because I wasn't getting the comments right away, you are our 6th card. I hope you're still on. If not, I hope you see the repeat. So card number 6, for anyone who is choosing it by numbers, this is for Cheryl. Awesome. Okay, so capping off and crowning tonight's reading with this theme, Cheryl, you got Blue Heron. Awesome. I'm glad you're still here. So Blue Heron is the one who comes up for you. And what Blue Heron is kind of in a nutshell everything I've said tonight. Blue Heron is about being the eye of the storm, being that bridge. Like in shamanism, we talk about becoming the hollow bone. We are the hollow bone that spirit moves through into this world, right? And so it's like being that bridge between heaven and earth, standing your ground, standing in your power, because like Heron is about stillness. Heron stands in the water, casting a shadow on the water. And the coolness of Heron's shadow actually draws the fish to him. So he's one of the best hunters in the world, but he doesn't have to stalk his prey. He doesn't have to try to find his prey. His prey comes to him. And so it's about that surrendering into your wholeness, into your power, into your relationship with Creator and Spirit, knowing that everything you need will come to you. Again, there's that thing about not resisting. Like when we put too much, we try too hard, or we have our expectations up, and we like desperately need this thing to happen, otherwise we're going to fall apart. That's putting resistance in the way of what we're trying to manifest. And so Heron just stands in his power, stillness, kind of that meditative state, that bridge, head in the sky, feet in the earth, and allows everything that is meant for him to come to him. He doesn't have to stalk it. He doesn't have to wear it out, chase it down. When you chase something, you're actually pushing it further away from you. So this is about, again, trusting that you are connected to all things, and that whatever your desire, whatever your need, you wouldn't have that desire or need if you didn't deserve it to be fulfilled. That desire or need is a compass point from the universe. It's a gift to know which direction to aim, which direction to face, which direction to move in. And so, and it's a big step, that it's kind of that leap of faith where you're like, okay, I don't have to figure this out. I can't figure this out on my own. I have to surrender because I have to trust the universe. Because I can't see my way through this. I can't figure out how I'm going to get from A to B. So I have to let go. There's nothing I can do. So I open up and I allow the universe to move through me and to bring to me the answers. Right? Whatever the situation, it's like one of my most used affirmations that I've been using for over 30 or 40 years is, there is always a completely harmonious solution. And it's the opening of your mind, opening of your heart to the possibility of a perfectly harmonious solution that actually negates that resistance, drops that resistance, and allows whatever that is to find you. Okay? Like, I went to college at a Benedictine monastery, and of all the places, when I was graduating, I ran into this monk, and he asked what I was going to do after college, and I was like, I don't know. And he's like, that's okay. It's like, you don't have to find the world. The world will find you. And I'm like, that's coming from a monk, Catholic Benedictine monk. And it was so Zen and so Taoist, and it was so right on. You have a purpose in this life. By being yourself, that purpose will make itself known to you. Okay? I hope that makes sense. I hope that is helpful. All right, one more card, and then I gotta go before my tax guy calls. All right, one more card for everybody, whether you got a personal card or not. Aha! Lizard in reverse. To dream the impossible dream. Dream big. Lizard is the dreamer. Lizard knows that everything in his experience started with a thought, started with a dream. And that, awesome. I'm glad that was meaningful for you, Cheryl. I'm so glad. So remember that you are the dreamer and this is the dream. There is nothing withheld from you. There is nothing that cannot happen. There, like Abraham Hicks, I've got an Abraham Hicks card in my bathroom. It's like, there is nothing you cannot be, have, or do. Because this world is a dream. Everything is energy. Everything is vibration. And by raising yourself to that vibration as one who already has that thing or that ability or that quality, that thing can't help but find its way to you. You are the power in your life. You have a personal relationship with Creator that moves through you and draws to you everything you need. And you can be, have, or do anything. Your path is unlimited. You have every possible path ahead of you. You can go in any direction. You can create whatever you want. And if you don't like what you create, you can recreate something else. You never come to the end of it. There will never be a point where you're like, okay, I've done everything. There's always more to do or to experience. There's always adventure. Okay? Okay, my friends. I feel like there was so much more I wanted to say with all those cards, but I have to go. I'm expecting a call at 9 or a little bit after 9, so I'm gonna leave it at that. But know that I am always available to you. You can visit my website. You can connect with me through my website at perchingwolfstudios.net. You can sign up there for a reading or healing or classes, or I do mentoring as well. If you liked this and wanted to get a full reading for yourself, please, it is worth it, I promise you. Not to toot my own horn, but it will be worth it, I promise. Money back guarantee. Let's see what else. Oh, and if you enjoyed this, know that this is my day job. And so whatever donations, if you feel so moved, never expected, but if you feel moved that you want to contribute, we'll have my PayPal information in the stuff underneath this video when I save it. I share it to my Facebook page. I will also upload it to my Perching Wolf Studios YouTube channel, where I've got like at least 3 years worth of these videos. So if you ever need some guidance, choose one and you can watch it. And it's there forever. So I think that's it for now. Thank you so much for joining me. Thank you for your presence. Thank you for your energy. This wouldn't happen without you. Even if you think you're just watching, your energy affects what is said. If you weren't here, even if you're watching this a year or 2 years or 10 years from now, your energy is a vital component of what happens in this moment. So thank you for that. Thank you. Invite your friends next week. Share this video, and I will see you soon. And until then, know that I love you, that I see you, and that I honor you. Have a wonderful week, everyone. Go shining. All right. Bye.